Here we are, all ready to go. Just about a whole platoon of us, I think.
As near as possible, the group is following the route that Delta Company took from the base to Long Tan on the 18th of August 1966.
What you're looking at here is the access roads, if you like, to the rear of the companies. From here, Delta took from the start of the rubber as far as you can see where the light is through there, and just over the hill. So that's the sort of area that was allocated to about 120 men to defend.
We've got a tractor coming through our midst. Where have you guys been? This is the patrol we lost. They just rejoined us. Into the jungle.
Oh, look at all the corn.
Corn husk heap.
Well done, all đẹp lắm.
That way, okay. We can't get through here, so we're having an O group up there to decide what to do.
Yeah, I'm looking to go onto the high ground, but the way...
That's our advance party out there, but we called them back.
Nước sâu lắm, nước vàng sâu lắm.
Come to me.
We're in this little shed, and we went past, and now we've come back again. Come across the lake, we've had to take a bit of a detour. There's little Nui Dat over there, that hill in the distance, and off to the right's the rubber plantation, which we're about to go over to and take it on. There's the troops going ahead across the bridge. Here we are, we've got some water obstacles now that has been pouring with rain for a while. I'm about to go through. Welcome to Nui Dat. Here we are halfway across the weir. Down there's somebody's rear guard coming up, quite a big one, really surprised. There's Nui Dat over there, Nui Dat East or Little Nui Dat. There's the troops going up the weir. Here's the muddy track of which we're going up again. Some more troops in the distance. This good, rich, red Nui Dat mud. Here I am back in the dusty shoes, as you can see.
At this point it was time to stop for lunch, which we were originally going to have in the rubber trees, but because of the rain, plan B was at the Long Phuc tunnel complex. These lovely ladies are making lunch for us. Here's Normie, all muddied.
Muddy.
Wet and muddy. We've had a nice picnic lunch. This is near one of the entrances to the tunnels. Oh, I think there's someone down the tunnel. Norm and some of the others explored parts of the tunnel complex while we were having lunch. There were bats down there apparently. This photo here Norm took of one of the figures down in the tunnels apparently about to catch a bat flying into his hands. They did well until the lights went out and they only had the light of their camera to get back out. After lunch the group set out to trace the movements of each of the 3 platoons and company headquarters during the course of the Long Tan battle in real time.
But if you can just imagine that they're twice the space that they are, you can see them now. So you can see one section covers about 100 yards of width. That'd be like a V on me. And that's what we call arrowhead. The arrowhead formation, that's an arrow to me with a couple of scouts out the front. If I was expecting trouble, I would have one section like this, and then my headquarters, and then I'd have 2 sections, one on either side. So the overall formation would be arrowhead. There'd be a section, section, and section, and within the sections, they'd be like this, arrowhead. So you can see we cover a great width and a great depth, and because of that, we can't be ambushed. There's not a force big enough, covering enough ground to really ambush the whole platoon. We were 1 platoon up, and the platoon was 2 sections up. So we had a little bit of space and then 100 yards of section up on the side of the hill here, and another one down the side. Company and the other 2 platoons following. and this was 10 platoon was the lead platoon coming around. Up from here and around about in this vicinity, one bullock cart track veered off around the slope of the hill and the other one went up the hill, slight rise. And at that stage we didn't know whether one was more important than the other, so we followed both. We were on a little bit of a time constraint because remember we were chasing these people, and so we didn't have the time luxury to send someone out to clear the high ground. That plantation over there, it came all the way to the road. So we've come out of cover, done a little immediate dash across the road, and gone back into cover. So we haven't changed camouflage if we were wearing it, and we are very circumspect about it, but it is a moment of weakness. This
is the Nui Dat stomp.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have done that.
Just over the rise, just as you can see, less than 100 yards away, come 6 VC, strung out, casually walking down the road, rifles over their shoulders, smoking, talking to each other. Just what are they doing? Why are they so slack? It doesn't really matter at this point. Buick knows if he moves, he's going to be seen. He can't dash across the road. He can't stand up. All this bush wasn't here. He can't stand up and go back. So whenever he remains still, he's okay, but as soon as he moves, they're going to see him. So all he can do is swing around and fire at them. They're 100 yards away, open sights for an Armalite. He swings around and gives them 3 or 4 shots and knocks down 2 of them. They're in a small little group up there 100 yards away. They're moving fast. They're moving fast in a diagonal direction. So we're now moving, and we're going to move into those trees over there. In our minds that we're tracking the 11 platoon has cleared the hut at the road, and they've that's taken a little bit of time, so we've paused. They've cleared the hut. They've seen that that the enemy treated one of their wounded guys, and there was bloody bandages and so on inside the hut. They've treated the bloke, bandaged him up, and they've lit out direct east, further into the rubber plantation in this direction. 11 has reported this back. We've cleared the hut. We see where they're going. We're going to follow. And the company commander says, yep, do it, but be careful. These guys have been hit. It's not unknown that 1 or 2 of them are going to keep with the wounded, and 1 or 2 is going to stay back and have a contact drill with you to slow you down. It seems to be only 1 mortar firing, and it plonks down and there's a bang, and there's about a 20 seconds delay, and then plonks down another one and there's a bang.
After being mortared while they're over here, Harry Smith decided to move out of the way to this high ground over here to see if the mortars followed him, on the basis if they didn't follow him they knew they weren't observed. The latter was the case, so we're now moving over to where the company headquarters remained for the whole of the battle.
Even though they were NVA recruits. They weren't good fire control people, because they opened up too early. Come into the clearing, they would have killed the whole platoon in maybe 10 or 15 seconds of fire. Everyone would have been out in the open. Even if they went to ground, they'd be seen because the ground was like that. But they didn't have that discipline. So this is the first time that we call for artillery. Every time a company goes out from Nui Dat, a battery is allocated to that operation. And in this case, it was 161 battery, the New Zealanders. We had a New Zealand FO on board. Gordon said to the FO, I want artillery. Yeah, you can have it. It's there. It's available. That's what we're here for. Where do you want it? Well, I want it here. Okay, plus 1,000. There's your 4 shots. So from now until I tell you, we're bringing in artillery in front of 11 platoon. 6 guns are firing in support there.
420.
10 platoon has got to this position and meets a big group of enemy. They're halted here. Now, what they were attempting to do was to move around about to this position, maybe a bit closer, and then hook in to your right. And if you look through the trees over there, you see something white. Yeah. That is the Long Tan Cross, and that represents where 11 platoon was. All through the advance that we've just done, they can hear firing coming from that direction. They can't see it, but they know where they are. And their idea is to come here, sweep in and move
That's the
around
long-term
maybe another
cost
couple
on the
of hundred,
trees,
maybe
really.
100
Or where it
yards
would
or
be.
so to north of that white area, and then fire across the front, leaving 11 space to get back. That was the tactic. Unfortunately, in this area, he meets more enemy. And not only that, but when he starts having a contact with the enemy, who were forming up to do an assault down there, he gets fire from the ridge line of the hill that you can see through there. So they've got machine guns mounted up there, firing into the rubber plantation over their own troops, are being directed by their own troops. So the ridge line there has enemy on it, machine guns, and there's a whole group of enemy here in the process of forming up.